Dolphins now into 5th, 6 wins, 4 losses. Billy Slater saying over the weekend, Gus, at what point do we stop calling Dolphin victories upsets?
You know, they can't be all upsets because people are starting to pick them to win games. They're actually in really good form. I said earlier in the year that they've got a lot of young blokes in that roster you probably haven't heard of yet, and they're going to filter into the top grade over the next couple of years. We already saw a couple on the weekend. I was also talking to Craig Bellamy at the hotel, and he was talking about the competition. He said it's much harder this year that anybody can beat anybody. I don't think that's absolutely right, but what I do know is if you're not on your game, you will lose. And if any team wasn't on their game on the weekend, it was the Cronulla Sharks. They got hit on the chin early and just did not recover. They weren't mentally right for it, and the Dolphins were just too persistent with them and put them to the sword. It makes you worry about the Sharks a little bit. They are very, very effective when they've got the ball in hand, but they've still got these defensive glitches that can come back to bite them, particularly in big games. It hurt them at the back end of last year. That's got to be their improvement before finals time this year. They will play finals football, but they can't win a premiership with that defensive mentality.
Can only imagine the conversation in the sheds after that one, Gal, for the Sharks.
Yeah, I wasn't in the sheds post-game, but I mean, it's something they addressed throughout the week. They've played in these big games before. They've done that last year. They fell over last year at Magic Round. Obviously, the semi-finals they did as well. The defence was a big focus for the past few weeks, and they were improving. They were going pretty good, but obviously on the weekend really let themselves down. I just think with the Sharkies, when they get the basic fundamentals of the game wrong, it goes bad for them. Now, they're a team that they don't have a great completion rate anyway. They move the ball so much. It's very different to my whole career, my whole time at the Sharks. I remember when I first got down to John Lang, a lot of time they took 5 hit-ups for a bomb. They were pretty controlled. We all had a role to do. We all played it. We had a pretty high completion rate. The boys at this Sharks team at the moment, they move the ball more than most teams I see in the competition. They love the ball in play. They love what live ball where the ball's just in play live constantly. They love that type of footy. And when the ball sticks, when it's sticking in their hands, they're very, very hard to stop. They score a lot of points. But when it doesn't stick and they make errors, they make a lot. I think they finish that game with like a 60% completion rate. It's just not good enough at this level. When you're playing a side like the Dolphins, who they do complete high. They can all tackle. They complete high, so they're going to be in every game. And that really, when it gets the Sharks on the weekend, their completion rate.
Gus, Gal was talking about the Dolphins there, and Wayne Bennett. I mean, he's just remarkable. There's even been talk on some radio stations about, you know, should he be considered an immortal for what he's done in coaching? I mean, is that outlandish, or do we just have to appreciate him for what he is right now and not sort of think about those sort of things?
Well, I don't think he needs an award to be an immortal of the game. He will be immortalised by the game. I think that certainly Hall of Fame is probably where Wayne Bennett belongs. The greatest of all time. He's coached the most games of anyone. And his influence in a number of clubs now, the fact that he's taken this to a number of clubs, he's won premierships at 2 different clubs is a factor as well. But at his age, to be as sharp as he is and to have the influence that he has, you know, if you're going to open a franchise somewhere else, he'd be the one I'd be sending to do it.
Wouldn't cost much to build a statue of him because he's pretty skinny, isn't he? So it's a cheap statue, wouldn't it?
Lean.
Yeah, the long, tall, skinny one.
I think what he's done internationally,
he's pretty effective.
He's coached Australia, he's gone to coach England, he coached New Zealand to success. He's done it all. He's a genius, absolute genius.
Yeah. And he's going to keep doing, as he said to me, he said, I don't play bowls, I don't play golf, I don't go to the pub, I don't drink. What else am I going to do? Yep. So he hangs around dressing rooms telling footballers what to do.
Rugby league, baby.